what?
Like
Someone else who
21.
worked for a short period of time.
Yeah.
That's sad. Okay, so I have a scale, but I think we'll be okay. And I'll make sure we're okay. But the weights and measures, I think I'm more concerned for you guys from an operational standpoint, because you have to be fairly particular with the. We'll set the grind out, so you won't have to worry about the grind and the weight of the grind. But as you know, because I don't know if Chestnut Hill did any French pressing,
Yeah, we did.
but the time is important. So, you know, what were you guys looking for? 3.5,
I typically
4
use maybe
minutes?
4 minutes, yeah.
So, you know, you can have conversation and chat, but you need to be paying attention, because if you let it go 5, 6 minutes, it's going to over extract and get bitter. So your customer is going to have a lousy experience. There you go, hot water. Perfect.
I know that some places put a timer, like a little mini egg timer on it.
Exactly. So you can use your phone, or, you know,
We're not
you
allowed
can-
to.
no phones.
We'll get a timer.
So
Make
you
sure you
can-
guys have a
Just
timer.
So
like
you
no.
can have, you know, because that's what I would use is my timer on my phone. But the biggest thing with this, as I call that timer up, is the weight's taken care of for you. You're going to have 2 sizes. It's preset with this grinder, so you're not weighing it out or anything. The other thing that's nice is this should drop right into your French press. You got 2 sides, so I don't know if you wanted to do a decaf, you can do a decaf. But you just select the middle one. We're going to avoid. You got large and small. I've set the small for this guy. I can do it even smaller. But they're just 2 buttons. There's a grind and a stop. And there are 2 sides. So depending upon which side you want. This is our dark roast, which probably wasn't the best choice for French press sampling, but we'll have that anyway. So we'll grind it up. Comes right out of the funnel there, directly into your press. So I'm kind of eyeballing this, but it kind of looks pretty close to, you know, I shoot for, and you could chime in too, but about 2 grams per ounce. So if this is 30 ounces, this is maybe 60. I think this is a little less right now, but we'll try it and see. So your grounds are in your press. All you want to do from there is, if you have a hot water tap, and you guys are going to be doing this downstairs.
Yeah, so we have one right on the coffee and iced tea maker now.
This, yeah, and you can use that to tap off of, but it's pretty, you can see better over here. It's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to get real fancy and, you know, too detail oriented, because you guys, you know, you're doing other things. You're not baristas. So what you want to do is serve a quality cup of coffee, and you're just going to get the grounds wet at first, okay? And this is my method, and you've got experience. So you can do whatever works for you, you're more comfortable with. I like to just kind of what's called, you know, off-gas the coffee a little bit. And I just get the grounds wet and let it breathe a little bit. And typically, you know, I'd wait, you know, about a minute, but we don't need to time that out. And then once that's done, I'm just going to fill it up without really making a big mess. Just kind of slowly but surely making sure I get, you know, all the grounds. Just to about there.
So just below the silver line.
Yeah. I mean, there's, you know what, 350, 400 grams or something of water. I mean, you can get really precise, but you don't need to. So I'm going to start my timer for your purposes. And, 3.5, 4 minutes. Stir that up a little bit, shake that up. Put my lid on, okay, just to keep the heat from escaping. And, what's nice about the French press is you get a really dense cup of coffee, really bold, rich cup of coffee. I mean, you guys know because I'm sure you've all had French press coffee at one point or another. And you basically have everything you need. It's just like your coffee brewer there, except the filter is here, and you're plunging it to extract or to filter the coffee. And the extraction is taking place right now as the water soaks the grounds.
Is this something that we could set on the table and tell the guests to wait 3 minutes and do it themselves? I mean, is that unprofessional?
I would. So
I think
when
the
you're doing
presentation
this
itself is
basically
about it.
basically what you're doing with this is, from an operations perspective, is first thing you're doing is like what Scott said. You should be putting it under the grinder. It grinds. You do that little 1 minute gassing. You start to get things ready. After the 1 minute, you put the full amount in. You set it aside. You get your creamers. You get your coffee cup. You get everything like that. Because at the end of it, after 30 seconds to a minute of that, you only have 1 or 2 minutes to go, right? So then you're putting everything together. You get your tray. You put it in your tray. You carry it to the table. You put your coffee cups down at the table, and then by that time you're at 3 minutes, right? So if you start to do that, you're give or take, you're at those 3 minutes on your tray. Press it down. Then once it's pressed, you can start to pour the gas. So if you're thinking about, the first thing you do is you put the grinds in. You're waiting just maybe 30 seconds to a minute to gas the coffee. Then once you've put that water in there, from 4 minutes from getting the cups you need to the creamers, all that kind of stuff, getting your coffee cups prepared, taking it to the table, putting the coffee cups down where they need to be, that's about 3 to 4 minutes. So that's kind of a good rule of thumb, I would say, to use it. And then at the table, you should press and pour the first cup, leaving room for cream, obviously, like you would normally in the back house. Set on the table, and then you recess. You walk away. So that is a proper French press service, given the time parameters I think that we have.
Whether they have 1 cup or 4.
Correct. Now, we have 2 sizes. This is a 33 ounce. This is a 20 ounce. So the 1 cup of coffee, feel free to use the 20 ounce. For 2 cups of coffee, you're using a 4 ounce. If there's more than 2 people that are having coffee, there's 4, use 2 4 ounces. We have 6 4 ounces and 6 2 ounces. So just use a multiplier. I mean, make it pretty easy that way. If there's 3 people at your table and they all want a cup of coffee and they're all on separate checks, it might be a good idea to use 3 20 ounces. At the bar, you should probably use nothing more than a 20 ouncer, unless it's a couple who's having 2 cups of coffee. Then you can put 1 down in front of them. We can get bigger ones. My thought process was, let's start with this and see how it goes. Because, I mean, in my experience, there's not a whole lot of people where you're getting 8 cups of coffee at one table. That happens once in a blue moon, and we can put down a couple 2 cups here.
And typically, that's around the largest size that French presses usually go.
Yeah, I mean, in our old business, we had 12 cups. We had 8 cups. Yeah. And we use them once in a blue moon.
Yeah,
like,
why?
and this is obviously not going to be for banquet style service. And if you look at what Scott's doing now, he did not just jam it down. It's just a slow.
Yeah, you just want to press it. You don't want to, sponge out the coffee or squeeze out the coffee or anything like that. It's this immersion method, and the filter is the plunger. So you're filtering the grounds, hopefully, out of the coffee, and then you're all ready to go with your French press coffee. So, see how this turns out.
Who all wants coffee?
Karen.
So that makes 4 cups,
So technically, that will make 4 8-ounce cups.
which is already.
Yep.
You're off caffeine.
No, I started drinking again. Yeah, I'm back on the wagon.
Back
on the wagon. Oh,
So I think. Yeah, sure. I'll just have a little bit.
are these strong? Is this like stronger than
It
regular
would be
coffee?
stronger than what we have now. It's more flavorful.
Mm.
Be a lot less bitter than I think what we have now.
Just leave me. I don't need a lot.
Also, because over time, when a coffee sits, it becomes, not great. As we all know, when we served that cup of coffee at 9:30, and it was made at 5. Which is not, which is really not the way we're supposed to serve coffee. But this will help eliminate that.
Wait, say that, Josh. What do you do?
So basically, we have a whiteboard down there, and basically what we're saying is every 2 hours we should be changing coffee, pouring it out. Obviously, sometimes it doesn't happen if it's a busy night. No one has gotten to it. Sometimes, and that was, I think, one of the issues that we had.
Sunday, you need to brew
No.
coffee